Alright guys, time to crack back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far, and I was hoping for an entertaining day one of the CDL Stage 5 Major, and it did not half deliver. Great series, phenomenal upsets, loads to dive into here in the coming minutes, and very much intrigued to hear your thoughts indeed in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you are new as always, I greatly appreciate it. Really upset the channel, thank you very much indeed for doing that. Let's go through 3 series on the day. There of course were 4, but we'll talk about Los Angeles Thieves versus Toronto Ultra tomorrow, because there's a lot to cover already. First 2 series, one team of course out of the tournament in both of those series already, and both of those teams ended up being squads that we will no longer see for the rest of the season, not of the World Championship either. So 2 teams that we will never see again likely in the CDL, because if either of these squads keep their squad into next season, keep their same roster as it is right now, I would well, I don't exactly know what I would do, but I'd be pretty mind blown nonetheless. Octane Sam says this: day 1 he's gets the devil face on, back in a LAN environment, he is certainly ready to go. Method streets this out, Seattle versus Paris, wasn't necessarily enjoying himself, but to be fair, it was actually a pretty interesting series. And of course, either of these teams who ever lost, that would be a team we never see again in the CDL, right? Because this team is going to change around for next season, and they're not going to be at the World Championship, of course. Game 1 though goes the way of Seattle Surge, cheeky little 100-point club. To be fair, they look pretty good here on rate hard points, right? And it's a Paris team that they just seem so inconsistent, so up and down. It's tough to say exactly what's wrong with them at times, but I kind of want to speed through this series because certainly the next 2 I think were slightly more interesting. But this was Seattle Surge right at the previous Major 4, where they'd actually beaten at London Royal Ravens in the first round, and then Paris Legion. So they're trying to do the same again, beating Paris here first, and then they play London next. So they basically have the same bracket as before. And last time they actually looked pretty good, and Octane was okay. But this game too, Octane was very questionable at the very least. Pretty sure he goes 2-8 on this raid, search and destroy. He gifting first bloods all across the park, as Miles tweets out right here. Sam, you got blooded how many times exactly that game? They do end up losing that one to the Paris Legion, but Seattle bounced back pretty nicely indeed in the control. But a very interesting situation where the audio issues start to arise. Thankfully these didn't last for too long, but yeah, the audio just cut it. It's like someone pulled the cable out in the middle of the control. It finishes off the game and nothing else happens for there's no audio for the rest of the entire game. Then it cuts to a commercial break or whatever, and then there's another 5-10 minutes or something before they figure out how to fix this thing. I thought this was kind of funny, right? The term memes that CDL tweets out right here: Valorant, you're giving me a slight delay. Well, Overwatch get a bit more of a delay. CDL's like, yeah, you guys are even getting audio on your streams. It's not what we do over here in the CDL. But as Matt says, these people at the MLG studios wouldn't be effing these issues. They were a special breed of event host. The CWL, of course, well, the CDL, sorry, obviously hasn't been so good as of late. But one thing in the positive camp at the very least is this from Crone: Holy, are the listenings finally matching the gameplay as they seem to? So it seems like they've actually got that sorted out for LAN, but some other audio issues as well, which thankfully did seem to resolve themselves over time before we finished off the series, and Seattle Surge got the job done in the end on Apocalypse, where, to be fair, Paris have been pretty good on this map as of late, but Seattle also very good, and it's Prestinni especially who tends to be pretty good at this map as well. And well, they do indeed get the job done. 3-1 for the Seattle Surge. They move on in the tournament, and that's Paris Legion bowing out. As Octane says, I'm pretty sure he went 13-5 or something outrageous this map. He just sat all the way at the back of the held spawns, and to be fair, they won pretty emphatically, so you can really blame him. Pretty sure it was only the second time anyone this entire season has dropped only 5 kills and a hard point. That was a scene way back in stage 1, stage 2 when he went 22-5 on raids. This I'm pretty sure was the second time that has indeed happened. But Paris are gone. Their 2021 season is over. Made no money from this one. And well, of course, big questions that we can talk about in the coming days, I'm sure, onto what exactly is next for some of these players and some of these rosters. Because, some of these players won't be in the league anymore, I imagine. Some of them certainly will be, but probably on other organizations. Next series of the day, Subliners versus Los Angeles Grillers. And I was expecting Subliners to get the job done here. I did not think it would be as down to the wire as it ended up being. Game 1, it was a Garrison hardpoint, pretty much as a lot of us predicted that they would go to a Garrison, where Los Angeles Grillers haven't been awful, but it was one of New York's go-tos when they were particularly good at this map, when they initially got good really in stage 3 when they won 13 hardpoints in a row or something pretty ridiculous. They do close this one out. It was not easy by any means, 250 to 170 odd. The slaying numbers didn't necessarily back that up, to be honest. There was some weird thing in the listening as well, where some beat was playing in the background of the listening for 20 seconds. No idea what even happened there. These audio issues just come out of nowhere. I swear no other esports deals with stuff like this. I guess they do, but it just seems to be so prevalent in the CDL, to be honest. Then we go into a search and destroy though, and this was a pretty ridiculous game. Los Angeles Grillers managed to bounce back, but aBeZy opens up with a very nice ace at this very first round. Hydra came back with a ridiculous 1v3. He gets this first kill, then I'm not sure who dies yet. It's Salt right here who makes a bit of a mistake over CheLing, and then Hydra comes for the gunfight. This guy is absolutely incredible. If they don't build around him next year, let's say Clayster doesn't want to play with him, and maybe vice versa, right? Who knows what's going on in that camp right now? But to me, key. Like, Hydra seems to be the guy you want to build around. He clutches that. They lose the map anyway. And this I did think it was kind of interesting. It was tied 1-1. They'd beaten Los Angeles Guerrillas 3-1 every single time they played them so far this season. So, would they do so again? It did not quite end up like that, but Los Angeles Guerrillas lose the control emphatically 3-0. I did not realise until easyMac pointed it out afterwards. This entire stage, I'm pretty sure, they didn't win a single round of control. What a statistic that is. As well, he says right here, they're 1 in 19 in hardpoint in their last 20. 2 in 5 overall in Apocalypse. Maybe they could get something done there. We'll have a look at that. But they're 0 in 18 round counting control rounds, like, you know, have we ever seen a team like this? I can't believe it. But then, this is what happens in the hardpoint, right? It looks like they're down and out. It looks like they're dead and buried, down by over 100 points, 178 to 67. But then aBeZy goes on an absolute monster streak. As, well, he goes on an 8 streak right here, gets full streaks, uses his streaks to great effect. We've seen so many players as of late getting streaks and then pretty much squandering them. On this map, he gets 3 kills, I'm pretty sure, with both of his streaks, which is just incredibly valuable. They bring a massive comeback, win the map, and send it to a game 5. But and you really think the momentum might be with LAG at that point. I mean, if they were to knock out New York, what an incredible, ridiculous storyline that would have been. And finally, they do win a hardpoint pretty much off the back of aBeZy going God mode. So yeah, maybe he is the player out of any 4 on that team that does retain their spot in the league next season. Certainly, I think I would like to see it. But well, it goes to the game 5, and right here they're up 4-2. I'm pretty sure LAG, but New York find a way to clutch up. They win this one 6-4. They advance in the tournament. It was not easy by any means, but Los Angeles Guerrillas do bow out in the end. Most sadly, we say goodbye to them for the entire season. They of course will not be at the World Championship. So yeah, pretty remarkable to see how intact this roster has stayed through the entirety of the season, given how bad it's been for a very long time at this point. This I thought was also interesting. There was a fair bit of discussion about this. Made the Los Angeles Guerrillas look like Harambe. I'm sure you guys know about that from a few years ago at this point. And well, I obviously at the end of the day, it's just like a joke or whatever. The people did take this kind of pretty seriously. There was a lot of discussion about it. We see this from the Mutineers as well, going 3-0 versus New York Subliners tomorrow for disrespecting Harambe. And well, Crone tweets this out in reply. Certainly, well, a while since Harambe's been mentioned here on the timeline. But yeah, hashtag for Harambe going around. This, to be fair, there's got a lot of calls to like take it down or whatever. And well, a lot of replies as such in the replies. But still, Subliners kept it up. They're standing their ground, no doubt. And it does create a storyline, I'm sure, to continue through the rest of the weekend, where there are, well, the other teams that can potentially beat Subliners can avenge Harambe in this sense. Let's go on to this final series of the day, then, at least that we're going to talk about in this video. We'll discuss Los Angeles Thieves, Toronto Ultra tomorrow, because there is a lot to talk about here with this FaZe series. They're rolling up to the tournament. They're in winners round 1. They're not used to being in winners round 1. They're usually in winners round 2. They get the bye because they get the first seed in the group. They'd have to get past Rokkr. Then if they win that, they play the Dallas Empire, and things go on from there. But still, massive favourites as we looked at this morning in terms of statistically to win the entire thing, like 65% likelihood to win the entire thing, like 95+% chance to make top 3 in the tournament. But well, it does not happen in quite remarkable fashion. As soon as I saw the maps and modes, I was like, okay, wow, this is a serious possibility here for Rokkr. I think, to be honest, Minnesota got exactly what they wanted out of this. If it had gone game 5, I'd definitely be favouring FaZe. But and honestly, like pretty much all of FaZe's series go game 5, right? Because well, if they ever lose a series, it almost always happens in game 5. But Checkmate Hardpoint, I think, is a great one for the Rokkr. Like, I mean, FaZe aren't exactly great on that map. Raid Hardpoint as well is one that I'm pretty sure anyone could win. It's a very much a rotation heavy. If you win your rotations, if you get a couple of key breaks, you can certainly win that one. Express Search and Destroy is not a massive favour for FaZe, really. They've been a bit shaky on that one. And Garrison Control, if there's any control you're going to win them on, maybe it's Garrison, right? Because Raids, well, I don't know, they do lose to OpTic on it. So Garrison Control is going to be a hard one, as indeed we saw. But the other maps, I was, especially 1, 2, 4, I was like, okay, wow, Minnesota have a real chance here of making something happen. And game 1, they get it done. Early on, they had a massive lead. You can see right here by this line. They went up like 200 to basically 80. And I mean, honestly, FaZe just never know when to say die. They made a ridiculous comeback here, like somehow stringing things together. But Rokkr just about closed out. They made, honestly, a kind of a massive break towards the end. You can see how close this game got. But yeah, 250 to 211. And Rokkr just about closed out game 1. It was close, no doubt about it. But you pretty much, if you want to beat FaZe, you almost have to win game 1, it seems, because their control is just so good. Their Search and Destroy is very consistent. That it's the hard points as of late where FaZe have been a bit shakier. That's where you have to get it done. And that's where their map pool, at least in the hard points, hasn't been looking so solid as of late. There's no doubt about it. So they go down 1-0. Then we go to a Search and Destroy. And honestly, like pretty much the entire time, FaZe seemed to be in the driving seat. Like they kept going up, going up rounds, to be honest. Like it would go 3-3, but then 4-3 FaZe, or it was like 1-2, and then 3-2 FaZe, and 4-3 FaZe. And it felt like they were going to find a way to close it out. Does not happen though, because Standy gets, honestly, Standy was an absolute monster this series, as was Priestahh. We'll look at the statistics here in just a second. But Standy statistically, since he's joined the Rokkr, has been very similar to aBeZy. His stats compared to aBeZy in terms of like their first blood rate is a little bit lower because aBeZy is an absolute maniac in Surge, but pretty much everything else in terms of KD, engagements for 10 minutes and pretty much all the modes, very similar to what aBeZy has done. It was great to see them match up right here, and Standy got the better of them. This round, this round 11 was very impressive because what you tend to do against FaZe, a lot of teams get scared, they don't play too aggressive. We see Priestahh taking Charles, we see Standy taking Charles. They just completely overwhelm them down towards the B side and take this round 11 in emphatic fashion. Round 11 win, that's a 2-0 edge. The problem is when you're playing FaZe, and as Nameless says right here, like playing so confident, that is how you do it up against Atlanta FaZe. But of course, FaZe don't go down without a fight. Whenever they're back 0 against the wall, they're going to try and make something happen. And of course, they want to win this one massively, right, to continue on in the winner's bracket. Going down to losers at this point is not exactly a death sentence if you're a team like FaZe, but it is going to be far from easy to get something done. The good thing about FaZe, at least for them, is that their control is absolutely ridiculous. They come in here, like maybe Minnesota make 1 or 2 mistakes this entire map. They completely bowl them over, a 3-0 stomping. They get streaks. I mean, this map was over so fast. Just, I mean, statistically, the Rokkr guys got absolutely demolished right here. Cellium goes like 22 in 9 or something to close out this game. This is just what FaZe do on controls, especially Garrison control, it seems, when they're all firing on all cylinders. But it does go to a game 4, and this was a raid hardpoint that I really felt like Minnesota could do something. But it was FaZe who, in the middle of the game, when we went to a listening with the Rokkr, felt like they were pulling away. They had a great opportunity to get the rotation, and they had a crazy breakover towards the garage, right? Where, like, I'm pretty sure every single player of FaZe got their kill. Like, they won their 1 versus 1 gunfight within about a second of each other. It was incredible teamwork for the FaZe guys. They got all 4 kills. They got the rotation over to basket, and you think, okay, they're going to close out the game. But Standy gets a massive kill through Tiki, and it all collapses really onto the hardpoint. And you see the FaZe guys at the end here when they spawn up, they know they can't even get there in time. They pretty much put their controller down. You can see number 7 in Simp. He puts his controller down 5 seconds ahead because they simply cannot get to the hardpoint in time. And, well, 250, 205. Rokkr take the series 3-1. I was not expecting this. I'm pretty sure FaZe have not lost a series 3-1 this entire season. I don't know when the last time they lost a series 3-1 was. Probably a long time ago, like maybe even over a year ago right at this point, which is incredible to think about. But it does happen in this series. This series, like with this season even, every time they've lost a series, it's been in game 5. This time it's a game 4, and it's Minnesota Rokkr of all teams in the first day of action that end up doing it. Honestly, incredible scenes. What an opportunity for Rokkr. What an opportunity for the rest of the teams. Will FaZe still manage to make the incredible run in the losers bracket? You wouldn't bet against them, to be honest, to make something happen down there. But what a finish to the day 1. These are the statistics over the course of it. Standy and Priestahh combined for plus 26 on the series. And well, how often do you see aBeZy and Simp being the most negative players in the entire lobby? That is, well, certainly not something you see every single day. Some response here from the FaZe guys. No teamwork. GG's, Minnesota lost 3-1, says Arcitys. So yeah, seeming like the teamwork wasn't necessarily there. We kind of felt in that very first listening on Checkmate Hardpoint that things weren't kind of firing on all cylinders like they tend to be for Atlanta FaZe, at least as of late. And as Simp says, GG's lost 3-1. No excuses, just straight up gotta be better. And just to finish off the video with this, oh, we play FaZe if we beat London, says Octane, as this is the bracket excluding, of course, that Ultra Thieves series, where FaZe will play the winner of Ravens versus Surge. We will, of course, continue to see how this bracket breaks down over time, and very much intrigued to hear your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm, like you enjoyed this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and upgrade the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always, take care, and I will see you next time.